friends, I'm Jennifer from DecorSauce, and today I'm going to show you how to remove your popcorn ceilings. I just need to start by saying, do not attempt to DIY this project if you have furniture in your house, if you have carpeting in your house, if you have walls in your house that have furnishings in them or on them or whatever. Like, this is a project for an empty house if you're going to do it yourself. If you want to remove your popcorn ceilings and you already live in your house, then make sure you hire a professional because they will tape and cover and protect all your belongings for you. So I just need to preface this video by saying that because this is a wet, nasty, slimy process, friends. Like, when I first started doing it, my contractor friend came over and he's gonna redo my drywall for my whole house project. And I said, I'll give you the work if you please remove my popcorn ceilings. And he was like, he got on a ladder and he started scraping a little bit and he's like, you can totally do this yourself, because he knows I'm a DIYer. And when I started doing these ceilings, I was like, he really hates me. He must really hate me because it's that bad of a project. It's so awful. So with that being said, I'm gonna show you how I do it, and you can choose whether you want to attempt this project yourself or not. So the good thing about this project is you don't need any materials really, and you don't need any skills, but that is honestly where the good stuff ends. So let me show you what I use. So first, you're going to use either a hose, a garden hose with a mister nozzle, or you can use a pump sprayer like this one. I think this was like $10 on Amazon, and I'll post a link to it below so you can know what I ordered. It's just a cheapie. So you need one of those or a hose. And the other thing that you have to have is, it's a 10-inch scraper. It's on a handle. It's very thin like this. This just helps you to get up underneath the layer of the popcorn so that you can scrape it off without gouging your ceiling. And then the last thing besides a ladder is I use one of these heavy duty full face respirators. And the reason I'm using such a heavy duty respirator is because these ceilings, this house is built in 1965, so I have to assume all the paint I'm disturbing and all the popcorn I'm disturbing has asbestos in it. So I don't know if it does or not. I didn't have it tested. You can have it tested if you want to do this before, but I'm assuming it does. And so I bought a super duper respirator that fits my face, that protects my eyes, and I can't even smell the vinegar that I use through this. It's so good. So I will post a link to this apparatus below. The filters come separately, so you buy the mask and then the filters. And then the very last thing is just a ladder. That's it. And other than that, we just spray the crap out of the ceiling. And I showed you my sprayer before. I think for this portion of ceiling right here, which is the living room area, it's probably gonna take 10 to 15 gallons of water spraying on this so that I can get it loosened, because this has all been painted. Since the 1960s, I don't know how many layers of paint are on this top of the popcorn, but there's plenty, and it makes it really hard to remove. So if it's just a popcorn ceiling that's never been painted, the water, you'll be able to use way less water to get it to saturate into that popcorn. But if yours has been painted, like this one has, probably multiple times, takes a little bit more water to soak in there before you can get that popcorn loosened. You're gonna wanna spray your whole ceiling down, wait 5 minutes, spray your ceiling down again, wait another 5 minutes, maybe spray it down a third or fourth time even, the whole area where you're gonna work, or even if you just wanna do a little area at a time, that's fine too. But I find it easier to spray the whole thing, that way some of it is soaking while I'm working on another portion. In your sprayer, you're gonna mix, you're gonna fill it up with water and then add a cup of vinegar, or you can do it without the vinegar. And don't be stingy with that water, especially around all the edges and corners, because that's where the paint is usually the thickest. So that's 1 container of water. Yeah, it's 1 gallon. I want to make sure. Yes, this is 1 gallon of water already on the ceiling. Didn't even cover the whole ceiling. Now I'm gonna let it sit 5 minutes while I fill up another gallon, and I'm continue spraying. And just to let you know what that looks like on the floor, and this is why I told you you don't want to do it with stuff on your house, is it is completely soaked with water on the ceiling and the floor, and the ceiling will continue to drip throughout this entire process. So that is why I told you, if you have things in your house, make sure you hire a professional, because otherwise this is not feasible to put this much water in your house all over your stuff. So I'm gonna fill this up and do another layer before I even begin to scrape. This video on how to do your popcorn ceilings wasn't meant to be a cautionary tale, but it may very well be for you. And that's why I'm showing you the reality of doing this project yourself, and not just what you see on other channels, because they make it look so easy and like you can just clean it up, like you split, and that's just not reality. So stick with me while I show you the reality of this hot mess, or cold mess, or vinegary, wet, slimy, cold mess. Yeah, that's more like it. Sprayed my ceiling 3 or 4 times, and I'm getting ready to test it to see if it's ready to scrape. If it doesn't come off easy, that means I need to stop and wait and add more water. And so it's just a crapshoot, and it's just a try and see if it will come off. So that's what I'm getting ready to do, and I'll show you how I do that. So you can basically start anywhere. Preferably, if you start, it's kind of hard to get it started, but once you do, it goes so much easier. But I'm just gonna bring my little trowel up here, and it's close. As you can see, it's peeling away a little bit, but it's not completely ready. Now I'm gonna saturate that area again where I was able to remove a little. And I think one more saturation and the ceilings will be ready for me to start scraping. If it chips off and it's kind of hard, you know it's not wet enough. It really slides off like butter when it's wet enough, but it takes a ton of water. Like I said, it seems so counterintuitive to spray this all down with water, but that's the only way that you can remove it. And it's not 4 times, I think, wasn't quite enough. So I'm gonna give it one more go around. I'm gonna spray that spot again. Get it nice and wet, and when it's wet enough, that popcorn will slide right off like butter. So I just sprayed it again. Let's see if that makes a difference. Get you up here with me so you can see what I'm doing. It is really wet in here and nasty. Here is my little patch of ceiling. So that is how your ceiling will peel off when it's wet enough and it's ready. So keep in mind too that you're always going to have more trouble at the edges, because that's where the majority of the paint has been applied over the years, to all the edges. So the edges have to be really super wet, but also I kind of wait to the last minute on those, because you really have to get them wet, but you also have to get a really nice layer of the popcorn away from the paint before it will even, the water can even get to it. I also wanted to say to you, be very careful when you use your trowel that you do not gouge the ceiling that's underneath. So the purpose is to remove the popcorn and not the drywall paper. So you don't want to have any more repairs than necessary. That way your ceiling guys or your drywall guys can just come in, spray their layer of texture on it, or skip trowel it, whatever texture you decide to do on the ceilings, and they don't have to do any major repair work. So make sure you put this nice and flat and try not to gouge or poke the ceiling with your trowel. And I'm gonna get to work on this, and I'm not gonna show you the whole process because basically you just saw it. I'm gonna continue to do this whole room. It'll probably take me the majority of the day. So that's one ceiling in one room, and it'll probably take the whole day. And I think this room is like 15 by 16, something like that. So I'm gonna get working on that. But before I go, I do wanna show you what it looks like after, because I do have a ceiling that I finished just a couple of days ago. I've been doing one ceiling every other day because my neck and my arms just can't take any more than that. So if you don't get too tired and you can just knock out a ceiling every day, good for you. I'm not able to do it. I have to take a break in between. So here is a ceiling that I finished just the other day. And the ceiling looks really good. That is actually the drywall patching and paper that you can see. That's what the lines are, and the popcorn is removed. So that is what that looks like. And then, of course, that is what the popcorn looks like right above me. So a little after for you. And I hope it wasn't too much of a cautionary tale for you, but don't say I did not warn you. I totally did. It's a mess. You can do it. You can totally do it. I mean, Lewis was right when he told me you can do this. He was right, even though I thought he hated my guts at first when I first started doing it. And it was just because I wasn't getting it wet enough. So that is the key. Get it really wet. Make sure you don't have anything in the way underneath. It can get ruined. And just keep scraping away until all the popcorn is gone. You'll save yourself about $2,000, depending on the size of your house. So good luck to you. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for all my new content. Check the links below. That's where I put in the description box. That's where I put any links to products that I used in the video, or if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out and ask me those. I can't wait to talk to you and see what you think. Thank you so much for watching, and have a happy DIY.